Fun Mojo. And right now we are live at Swanson Funeral Home, where Mr. David Ruffin is lying in state. I have to tell you that the turnout here at the funeral home today has been overwhelming. There are blocks of people lined up right now to come inside to take a last look at Mr. Ruffin. We're here now with a young lady who talked with David Ruffin about 2 weeks ago. Pam Todd. How are you, Pam?
Hi, how are you, Motown? Long time.
That's a long time. And I know this is a sad occasion to meet you on again. But let's talk a little bit about David Ruffin and what he meant to music, what he meant to the city, and what he meant to the world.
Yes, I've been knowing David for about 26 years. David and I were friends for a long time. And as a matter of fact, remember, Mojo, I used to be one of David's background singers. And also I was managed by Eddie Kendrick. So David and Eddie, I owed him a lot as far as my career. David was a good guy. We all have problems, but in this business you must be strong, and David just got caught up.
The lines of people, this is Lynn Swanson of the Swanson Funeral Home. Lynn, thousands of people have passed through here today, and since yesterday, one police officer said a rough estimate of maybe about 20,000 people. People have just not stopped coming, have they?
Absolutely not. Since about 11:30 this morning, Mojo, I guess when we arrived here, there were people camped out on our property all the way around, lined up and down the street, even in the neighborhood, waiting and reminiscing about his music and Motown, the Motown family. And I guess since opening this afternoon, there have been over 12 or 15,000 people in here. That's just today.
There's virtually a traffic jam. This is 6 Mile and what is the cross street here?
We're 1 block west of Hubble.
There's virtually a traffic jam out there. It took me about 5 minutes to get through this 1 block area. Cars, people, and people are still coming. How long will this be going on tonight?
We'll be doing until 9 o'clock tonight, but I think you'll agree with me, Mojo, that we really have to give it to the Detroit Police Department and in particular the reservists who have been so cooperative. They have really kept things organized since yesterday, and they've done a phenomenal job. And the people have been very cooperative. We haven't had a problem at all.
You know, one interesting thing that just to show you how deep this actually goes, people walking past Mr. Ruffin, and they're just leaving literally in tears, and you've had to call doctors. People are fainting around here.
Absolutely.
And will there be viewing tomorrow as well? Or
we're encouraging the public to certainly come this evening, as tomorrow it may be very, very difficult for them to be able to do.
Lynn Swanson of the Swanson Funeral Home. I do appreciate you talking to us. We're still live here at Swanson Funeral Home on 6 Mile. What is the cross street here again? Well, 1 block west of Hubble. The viewing was to have stopped at 9 p.m., but due to the overwhelming crowd response, people still in line. The people that are in line right now are allowed to pass by Mr. Ruffin. It doesn't appear to be any let-up in the crowd whatsoever. This will be the last opportunity to see Mr. Ruffin. We're here right now with Lynn Swanson of Swanson Funeral Home. And Lynn, the Swanson Funeral Home has been setting national standards, and the people who are coming out are pleased to take a look at Mr. Ruffin's during this last hour and remember the greatness of the Temptations, and you've captured the splendor of the tall Temptations right here on this final moment. People, you were to do it at 9 o'clock, but you can't. Why can't you?
We absolutely can't do that, Mojo. You know, on behalf of his children, Cheryl Needler, David Jr., and Kim, we just want to, at this time, express gratitude to the metropolitan area and to those people that have traveled from across the country. There have been people that convoyed here from California, from Washington, from Mississippi, all over the country, by car, by bus, by mobile home to be here, and there are just lines of people outside of the funeral home now, and we can't turn them away because they've come to pay their final respects to the family and, of course, to see them and to reminisce. So we'll be here.
And David Ruffin, Jr. Is here, taking it especially hard, and his children are here at the funeral home right now. Tomorrow, will it be a close funeral tomorrow, or this is their last chance to see? There would be no viewing tomorrow at all, right?
There won't be any viewing here at the funeral home. The service starts at 1 o'clock at the new Bethel Baptist Church. But we are encouraging everyone that wants to see him to come today, as when we go into the church, the casket will be closed, of course. And since seating is very limited, we're encouraging the public to come this evening.
The funeral, could you give me the church and the address of the services tomorrow?
The New Bethel Baptist Church is located on Linwood, that's C.L. Franklin Boulevard and LaSalle, right there at the corner. Services are at 1 o'clock promptly tomorrow.
Lynn Swanson of Swanson Funeral Home. This is Electrifying Mojo, and we're closing things out right here at the Swanson Chapel. The people that are in line will get a chance to come in. However, are you going to tag the last person in line? Of course, you're going to have to go around the block to do that.
No, we can't do that, Mojo. You know, I guess I was at Comerica Bank a few weeks ago, and they did that. I was the last car in line, and that's a good process. But this isn't business. This is about love. This is about memories, and we don't plan to do that. No.
You have the music of the Temptations blasting. There are flowers everywhere, and people are here coming to pay their last respects to Mr. Ruffin, singing the Temptation songs as they go out. Carl Carlton came through. A lot of stars in their own right are here, and it's quite an affair that's happening right here tonight. The Detroit Police Department, you had mentioned, have been above and beyond the call of duty and keeping order.
Absolutely. We take our hats off again to the Detroit Reservists and the Detroit Police Department, as they have been super cooperative. And I give it to the citizens of Detroit. You know, you always hear the negative thing about our people when we gather, but everyone has just been wonderful and very cooperative. We've had just a phenomenal crowd yesterday and today, but we haven't had a problem, not one. People have been standing in line, reminiscing about the music, talking and dancing. They're carrying their radios and boom boxes, playing his music, and they're just having a good time. Just a good time. And they've transformed this funeral home into old Motown, and it's been very special, very special.
Lynn Swanson of Swanson Funeral Home. This is Electrifying Mojo live on the streets of Detroit, 92.3 The Mix.
You're listening to the tribute to Mr. David Ruffin and the Temptations. In just a few minutes, we'll be talking with Miss Gwen Gordy-Fuqua. When David Ruffin came from Meridian, Mississippi, the first label he signed with was Anna Records. And we'll be talking with Miss Fuqua in just a few seconds on 92.3 FM and the continuing tribute to Mr. David Ruffin. 92.3 FM, Electrifying Mojo. And our continuing tribute to Mr. David Ruffin. On the line right now is Miss Gwen Gordy-Fuqua, who owned Anna Records, and at that time was introduced to Mr. David Ruffin. Hello, Miss Fuqua.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Oh, a little sad and a little shocked. How are you?
I'm doing fine. And about the same situation, I guess the whole city of Detroit right now, and perhaps the world, is in shock because David Ruffin was definitely a very respected entertainer. Of course, you saw all of that a long time ago, long before the world saw it, and you were very instrumental in bringing the talents of David Ruffin to the world. When he was first introduced to you and brought up from Meridian, Mississippi, let's talk about that.
I love David very much. A friend of his named Eddie, I don't remember his last name at this particular time, but he brought David to me. At the time, I had Anna Records. And he said that, hey, I brought this boy from Mississippi. He says, but I don't have any place to keep him, and I don't know exactly what to do with him. He says, but I brought him to you. He said, because I heard a lot of nice things about you. He says, I met you a time or two. He says, you probably don't remember me. He says, but, I want you to hear him. So he says, but the only thing about it, he says, I don't have a place for him to live. So I said, well, okay, we'll hear him. So, of course, I heard David, and I thought he was really a superstar. And he really was, he's so energetic. He was young, and he really wanted to be in the entertainment business. And he seemed like a very nice person. So, of course, over Anna Records, my dad owned a building there on Farnsworth and St. Antoine. We had two family flats. So then David, as a lot of the other artists, stayed there. And of course I signed him to management, and then we just rehearsed. We did a lot of rehearsing. But every rehearsal that he had was just like a performance on the stage. And I thought he was going to be a super talent, which he turned out to be.
Okay, and from Anna Records, he went to Motown Records.
Yes, he went to my brother Barry, as most of the artists from Anna Records, because Barry and them were on the big move, and they came from Anna Records and went to Barry.
When David was first introduced to you, and you were basically taking a look at other talent that was also being introduced to you at the time, what was it about him just said, okay, well, this one I think we should sign? And how does it feel when you make those type decisions and you have it turn out to be so overwhelmingly right? When David was first introduced to you, as was a lot of other entertainers, what was it about him that said, yep, that one is going to be one of the big ones?
Well, because he was really into it. He wanted to be a superstar. He wanted to be the best. A lot of times, people that have a great or a good voice, they just perform and they do. But he always was one of the ones that overdid. In rehearsals, he was just like he wanted to be the, he wanted to be the, he would rehearse. Everything that you saw him do on stage almost was the way he rehearsed. And of course we did a little grooming, and we did a lot of things with him, but he had it in him. He wanted to be there, and he worked very hard. And there was never a time that he could rehearse for 8 hours if that's what it's called for. Mm-hmm. He was just there, and he just was there for you, and he wanted to be there, and he wanted to be in front of the public. He loved people. He was just a great personality and a great fellow.
We're speaking live with Miss Fuqua, Gwen Fuqua in California, and she's in California right now, and she was nice enough to talk to us on the phone, and that we're doing the David Ruffin tribute. One last question. The steps that David and the Temptations were doing, how did those steps come about? Did he bring that energy to the group?
Well, he was energetic. His steps were not, especially those steps. Barry had a thing, when he was with the Temptations, Barry had a department, which I headed up, with Harvey Fuqua, Charlie Atkins, and Maxine Powell. I headed up the department. And of course, they got their choreography from Charlie Atkins. They got a lot of the things from Harvey, and it was just all about everybody that was in that department.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Fuqua, for spending this time talking to us live in California on this David Ruffin tribute. And we wish you continued success. And once again, thank you for sharing the microphone with us.
All right, thank you, Mojo. And it was nice talking with you on 92.3 FM, right?
92.3 FM, you got it, all the way in California.
Hear about you out here.
You
God
did.
bless you, and we'll think about David, and we'll just pray on that.
Well, thank you very much.
92.3 FM, Electrify Mojo.
You're listening to Electrify Mojo, Rare Moments. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you wish to subscribe, hit the subscription button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you wish to subscribe, hit the subscription button.
Yeah, that's 4 meters CLI now. Roger, 4 meters CLI.